Welcome, humans, to Retro Friday. Today, for the topic of retro, is Deus Ex. Released in June 17th, 2000, this game was considered the greatest game of all time to quite a number of people. In this video, we will discuss why. Deus Ex is a kind of game where it gives you hidden choices among the ones that you've seen on the screen. In this linear and infested gaming industry, one is conditioned to think in the scope of what is given to you, and not in line with discovery. Here is an example. Anna Navarro will not let me talk to Lebedev, no matter what I do.
I surrender.
However, if I kill Anna before she came in the room...
NATO has a policy against killing unarmed prisoners. We have much to learn from each other.
We're assuming control of the airfield. The vaccine will be returned to the international authorities.
Don't you want to hear why your brother came over to our side?
He makes his own decisions.
You know he wouldn't betray UNATCO without a reason.
Good work. Now finish the job.
He surrendered. He's an unarmed prisoner. UNATCO policy protects him.
Terminate the prisoner, Agent. If you are too afraid, you are ordered to return to base on Manderley's authority. There is a helicopter waiting.
If you know something, just tell me.
The question you've got to ask, I'm surprised you haven't, is the obvious one. Who am I? Who made me, and for what purpose?
UNATCO has briefed me on my augmentations. Get to the point.
Return to base, Agent Denton. I will handle this.
Your parents were murdered precisely because they could have told you the correct answer to that question.
That's a pretty big claim.
You didn't have parents. The ones you knew were employees. You were made by a cabal of technophiles so crazed for power that they would control not only governments and people, but the chemistry of our bodies as well.
Leave us, Agent. Now. I have the...
Sounds like a picture-perfect description of the NSF.
Think bigger, Agent. Think global.
You have disobeyed a direct order.
Do you think it's an accident?
The supply is limited. That doesn't mean there's a conspiracy.
But where does that go?
Go on. Why tell me all this?
I've said nothing.
Manderley will be disappointed in your insubordination. Prisoner who tries to escape. Go to the helicopter now, Agent Denton. It is waiting at the airfield.
I surrender.
What?
We're... Don't you...
He makes his own...
You know he wouldn't be... I guess Paul must have convinced you.
All right. We're alone. If you have proof of a conspiracy, let's hear it.
Another greatly impressive thing about this game is its story. As you go along in the story, you will see 3 different sides of the quote-unquote right path to take. At the end, you will have to choose the path you desire. These sides are so layered that Deus Ex has been known to predict the future. For instance, in the story you discover that all internet traffic is routed through the government. Look at what has happened since then. Another example would be a quote from an AI. Human beings feel pleasure when they are being watched. I have recorded their smiles as I tell them who they are. As you see, Deus Ex was clearly ahead of its time and still is. This is a must-have in anyone's collection. Download it, install it, and process it. Now.
J.C. Denton, 23 years old, no residence, no ancestors, no employer, no.
How do you know who I am?
I'm a Screech visitor with a complete summary of his file. I'm a prototype for a much larger system.
What else do you know about me?
Everything that can be known.
Go on. Do you have proof about my ancestors?
You are a planned organism, the offspring of knowledge and imagination, rather than of individuals.
I'm engineered, so what? My brother and I suspected as much while we were growing up.
You are carefully watched by many people. The unplanned organism is a question asked by nature and answered by death. You are another kind of question, with another kind of answer.
Are you programmed to invent riddles?
I'm a prototype for a much larger system. The heuristics language developed by Dr. Everett allows me to convey the highest and most succinct tier of any pyramidal construct of knowledge.
How about a report on yourself?
I was a prototype for Echelon 4. My instructions are to amuse visitors with information about themselves.
I don't see anything amusing about spying on people.
Human beings feel pleasure when they are watched. I have recorded their smiles as I tell them who they are.
Some people just don't understand the dangers of indiscriminate surveillance.
The need to be observed and understood was once satisfied by God. Now, we can implement the same functionality with data mining algorithms.
Electronic surveillance hardly inspires reverence. Perhaps fear and obedience, but not reverence.
God and the gods were apparitions of observation, judgment, and punishment. Other sentiments toward them were secondary.
No one will ever worship a software entity peering at them through a camera.
The human organism always worships. First, it was the gods. Then, it was fame, the observation and judgment of others. Next, it will be the self-aware systems you have built to realize truly omnipresent observation and judgment.
You underestimate humankind's love of freedom.
The individual desires judgment. Without that desire, the cohesion of groups is impossible. And so is civilization. The human being created civilization, not because of a willingness, but because of a need to be assimilated into higher orders of structure and meaning. God was a dream of good government. You will soon have your God, and you will make it with your own hands.